Welcome to another broadcast of Habits and Money.
When you become an influencer, it gives you the edge that separates you from the competition. The GIP Initiative, the Global Influencers Partners Program, is designed to expose you to over 5 billion potential consumers across the world. When you are a rising star in business and you need visibility, reach, impact, client conversion, and cash flow optimization, positioning yourself to become a global influencer may be the ideal tool that you need in your arsenal to win in business. I encourage you to join the GIP Initiative and position your business to build confidence, trust, and credibility and cash flow optimize the fastest.
In the event that you're watching Habits and Money for the first time, I just want to give you a brief overview. On Habits and Money, we bring some of the best and brightest people from around the world to give you mentorship and coaching to optimize your level of success in business and quicken your steps to financial independence. Today, it's no different. Today, I have a very dynamic personality in studio, and he has a rich background in consultancy. My guest today, his name is Don, and he is an adjunct professor. He is a business consultant, holds an MBA in business, specializes in business leadership and also psychology. But there's so much more to the individual that I'm about to introduce to you. He would have worked at Disneyland. He also worked at Universal Studio, and he has also developed his curriculum for a university, and he's actually a professor at that university. So without any further delay, I want to encourage you to join me in welcoming no other than Don to the stage. How are you, my friend?
Hey, good afternoon. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. What can I say?
I must say it's a tremendous pleasure to have you in studio to pick your brains and to, really learn all the clever moves that you have been, taking to, achieve the level of success that you have accomplished. You are a very versed yachter, specialized with the sea. You have so much going on for you. But let's get the ball rolling. A few years ago, you have started your consultancy firm. You have started DHG and Associates Consulting. Can you give us a brief insight into what exactly is DHG Associates Consultant all about?
It's a great question. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for the great introduction, etc.
Okay.
DHG Consulting focuses on the smaller businesses, and I have, and I'll admit it, sorry for your show, but I have a little pissed off at the whole consulting industry because there's a lot of wild claims out there. Hey, you're going to get 10 clients in 90 days, and you're going to do this, and we're going to increase your. And there is really not the methodology, or it's very expensive. There are certain companies that charge $80,000 to engage. So I came in and said, today's not about accumulation after Disney and Universal, Virgin. In fact, my wife is still at Disney today, 35 years. But, it's more about helping people. Who do you want to help and how do you want to help them? I want to help small business leaders accelerate their profits. And I want to see consultants keep the job, get the job, and stay in it for 6 months to a year so that they can really help that business owner.
Great. And indeed, you have raised a very great point. There's a lot of information that is out there and a lot of misinformation that is also there. And again, that's one of the reasons why we have developed a very unique platform that we call, the Ideal Client Stress Test Ladder that really helps the individual to stress test their ideal client. So if you're going to be investing time, talent, and resources to get their attention, at least you know that you're getting the attention of people who are has the greatest possibility to buy from you. But if you don't know who you're selling to, if you don't know their buyer data markers, it's hard to achieve that. So you've made a very, very great point. And in the world of consultancy for many years also, as I interface with clients from all over the world, they would say to me, hey, I just spent, $10,000. I just spent $30,000. I just racked up, I have $20,000 in credit card debt to offset, consultancy service, and I didn't get the results. Those things burn your heart, when you hear that kind of stuff, because now
Mhm.
they have to struggle for months and possible years to offset that debt. And had they had the right consultancy on their side, they would have at least been given that blueprint, not only a blueprint to showing them how to cash flow, but a blueprint that is literally putting them, in that path where they're able to significantly optimize their income. So that's a great point. And again, I'm very happy that your business is focusing on these areas. I want us to talk a little bit more about your background. I know we're going to talk a bit later on about your experience at Disneyland, your experience as Universal Studio, your experience as a professor. We're going to come to all those juicy parts just now. But so you have MBA in business leadership. Can we talk a little bit about what is the scope of studies in business leadership, and why do you think it was necessary for you to have this area of specialty? How did it help you in your business decision making process?
Gary, that's a great question. So, as I understand it, using that background and also coming out of a psych degree, I was used to a lot of instruments and psychological, whether it's DISC or Myers Briggs or you name it. There's lots of assessments we can do, core clarity. But one of the things that I believe, working with all of our people coming on, my first inclination in age 23 was I want to own my own business. I can't survive on just a youth director. I'll be a volunteer. I'll still do stuff with them in the church and youth group stuff, but I'll do it as a volunteer. But I need to make a living. So I opened my first travel agency at 23. By 28, I had 5 and I ran them and we grew and had a lot of fun in my 20s, skiing all over the world, going on trips. Skiing in July in Portillo, Chile. That was fun. Sorry, I digress. But anyway, I sold them all in 1990, a year before the internet wiped out retail travel. And I went to work for Disney. During those Disney years, it was amazing because we had just started, Michael Eisner and Frank Wells, really putting the hammer down on growth, construction of hotel rooms. So, Gary, today, you know what 90% occupancy means at Disney? Means 10% of the rooms are empty, right?
Yes.
You know how many rooms that is? I'm just talking about Disney owned and operated, not the Hilton down Lake Buena Vista or Bonnet Creek or Wyndham. I'm talking Swan Dolphin. I'm talking about Disney owned operated. You know
Mhm.
what that means at 90%? There's 3,500 empty hotel rooms.
Wow.
They have 35,000 hotel rooms to fill every night.
Wow.
So we had to figure out strategies and how to
Mhm.
do that onshore, offshore. What could we fill in? How do we entice people to come but not cannibalize the revenue? There was lots of decision points, but it was really fun. But I traveled. The offices were London, Frankfurt, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Sao Paulo, Miami. And my kids were just getting fed up. They'd lived the Disney dream for 6 years, but now they're pretty much teenagers. And so I went to the dark side. I went to Universal. So
Yeah, you went over to Universal Studio. I know we talk about the dark
yeah,
side. I want you to give you a chance. Just before we get to Universal Studio, I first of all want to acknowledge the wealth of knowledge and experience that you accumulated having worked with Disneyland to be able to manage an institution with 30 plus thousand accommodation for visitors, I think is a landmark experience because 30,000, it's a big number, and also depending on which part of the world you're at, it's a very big numbers. All right, so I want to compliment you, and I can see how your MBA in business leadership and in psychology was very useful and helpful in this regard. So you had to be one of the person think tanking and brainstorming how to get that 10% fully occupied. What was that experience like for you?
So I guess the way I could do it is we illustrated in a skit. Every department at Disney had to come on stage and tell the other departments what they do. So of course the marketing team, on some of them, they were like the Olympics. They were wearing Olympic shirts. They all dressed alike. They were great. And my team, because we just flew in from either Hong Kong or somewhere, everybody's jet lagged. What's our skit? What are we doing? I went, okay, I don't know. Just a minute. Pull out a handkerchief, tie it, knot it, put it on your head. You grab a baggie here. Here's a bag. He goes on stage. Psst, hey, revenue management, come over here. I need 3,000. I need 3,000 all-stars. I need some all-star. I'm a little strung out. I need some, give me some Grand Floridian too. I'll take some of the top end. Help. And so he would hand him the bag of rooms. We would take those rooms, pair it with length of stay Disney tickets so it pumps it up big, and then we would sell it around the world. You want 20 rooms at the Grand Floridian? I got some stuff for you, buddy. Here you go. Here, take some All-Star. It's okay. No one's looking. Just 20 rooms a night. You give me a letter of credit. We're good to go. And we create a giant mutual fund, fill in all those places and different seasonality. I mean, we did business in Israel, an Israeli tour operator, and Delta wanted to pump Delta Atlanta. So I said, okay, let me get some characters. I'll get Mickey and Minnie. And they came from France, Mickey and Minnie. And you know that it's just, we're always just friends of Mickey in this story. So just that's the correct vernacular. So I was friends with them, and they came and met me in Israel. And we were doing travel stuff for Euro Disney, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, meetings every night with tour operators, traveling. Daytime, nothing. We're just sitting around. So we said, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we call the Jerusalem Children's Hospital and see if they want to maybe do a little quickie visit for Mickey and Minnie? And they're going, wait, what? Is this, are you punking us? Is this, nope, it's straight up. Just give us a secure place to make sure everybody's set and prepped, and they only can stay out for 20 minutes, but they'll hit the kids at the cancer ward and everybody at Jerusalem Hospital. We did it. We pulled it off. It goes off perfectly. The kids just freak out that Mickey and Minnie from Orlando came to cheer them up. Of course, we can't tell them that it was actually two French people, but that did speak English. But Mickey and Minnie were fine. Anyway, don't quote me on that. I think it happened. So anyway, they do their deal. But next day, we're on the front page of the Jerusalem Post. And I'm not talking a picture above the fold or below, but you open it up and it's Mickey and Minnie from America come to see our kid. Wow. When you think of geopolitics today, politics and stuff, I really don't go down that path. I don't want to be divisive with anybody. But what I did in those days in Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Jerusalem for those kids in the hospital with Mickey and Minnie and photo ops and it'll blow you away. But it would never happen today. I don't think, well, first of all, Disney wouldn't let me do the kinds of things I did back then. But Orlando Magic and Wembley Stadium against Atlanta, I got a 10 of 60 people taking them to dinner at Wembley and taking them to the game. And we did the same thing in Tokyo. Nobody asked me if I could. We just did it. As long as it was under your budget and you were driving revenue, it's a good thing.
10X Branding and Marketing LLC, powering the next generation of unicorns. At 10X B&M LLC, we specialize in market research, brand innovation, market integration, and client conversion optimization. Our team of experts is dedicated to providing the strategic insights and innovative solutions needed to accelerate growth and unlock your company's full potential. Whether you're a startup looking to attract investors and your ideal clients, or an established business ready for market expansion, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Let 10X Branding and Marketing LLC fuel your journey to exceptional business success. Contact us now for a free consultation on how we can position your business to become a unicorn.
Stay on the revenue side.
Love that. Love that. I guess the average person would have heard about Disneyland, but the work that goes into operationalizing that business, creating
Right.
visibility, reaching impact, creating that compelling reasons for persons to want to come to Disneyland. Thinking about all of that, the average person don't think through that process. You have been on the inside. Your wife is still on the inside
As we speak.
as we speak,
Right.
and you understand the mechanics, and I think that alone gives you such a tremendous competitive advantage when it comes to think tanking strategies and innovating, workable ideas. Because
Right.
listening to the story you told us now, these were not just think tanking in futility. You think tank a process, you identify a practical solution, you apply that solution to the business model, and you had success. And you had to be doing this not one time, several times. What I've also deducted from what you have said, you are not just focusing on how to bring persons from 50 states in America to Disneyland. You're also thinking how to bring persons from the UK, from Canada, from Dubai, from other parts of the world to Disneyland. And that is some deep thinking, and I really want to say you're a giant in the world of marketing and in the world of business leadership, and I just want to give you some acknowledgement for that. Now, you have also spoke about you didn't only worked at Disneyland, you have some degree of experience under your belt working with Universal Studio. Would you care to tell us about the shift from Disneyland over to Universal Studio? And I
Yep.
know we're talking about one of the giants here in the music industry. Can you walk us through what caused the transition, and what was that experience like having transition over to the
Yeah.
Universal Studio?
Gary, transitions are really tough. They're hard on everybody. It's not just about me, it's everybody around me. My former team, my family, the team I'm going to. It's tough times, but it's 7.5 years of traveling, and I'm on the road 250 days a
Yes.
year.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
traveling enough that my brains are scrambled. So my kids, at 5 and 6, Disney was cool because they could go every day or they could go when they wanted. They could just get tennis lessons at the Grand Floridian. It was riding the parades for your birthday. It was all kinds of stuff. But now at 12 and 13, they're going, Dad, if we have to bury one more dead hamster and you're not here because you're off somewhere, who knows where you are?
Mm.
Game over, and I thought about that, and I was in Singapore and I got the fourth offer over a fax machine from this company that we just talked about, and I went 2x the salary, car, stuff, stock, and I'm president of Universal Studios Vacation, so I don't have to travel like I did. I had
Mhm.
people that could do that, so I was responsible for the P&L, and they were losing money at 1.3 mil, and by the time 18 months went on, we were making 3.6 profit because we re-swizzled the product, went in and applied some of the stuff I know from Disney. Nothing proprietary, but just strategies. We just knew to go after higher end product and elevate us and not go for the Econo Lodge, in a horrible experience. So anyway, we did that. And my reward was 2 years in, Universal had kind of overspent on Islands of Adventure and City Walk, and they hired 93 executives to open those two attractions. And 2 weeks into the operation, they had a certificate of occupancy. They fired 92 executives. That was my reward for tanking a pretty good Disney career because it suited me personally. Go to Universal and last a couple of years, and then that blows up. I did have good lawyers, so I had a no-cut contract for a couple of years. And I said, why are you doing this? You have to pay me. I still get my car. I still get my allowance from Seagram's. I still get this, pennies. They said, well, we can take your salary and everybody else's and put it in pre-construction opening costs, but we only have 30 days to do that, to bury it in long-term debt. And then you're out of the operating budget and we look better. That was the reward. Oh, gee, thanks, guys. So I started consulting. I started building up consulting career and, kept on that track and had some very interesting
and the rest is history.
That's
but,
it.
But just before we go a little deeper into consultancy, I want us to talk. We're going to talk about professorship and so forth because you are an adjunct professor. We'll talk about that in a few. You have developed your own curriculum, which is rolled out at the university. But talk to us a little bit. I know that we talk a bit about the dark side at Universal Studio. And I don't know back in your days what the dark side represents. The dark sides today, the world all over is talking about the dark side. Would you care to give us a sneak peek into what is referred to as the dark side from your perspective in reference to the university?
Yeah, and I have to be careful because I don't want to name names or things. So I'm going to try and describe a scenario that might give you a flavor. So we're sitting around the table with all senior executives. There's probably 20 of us. And we have a lunch and we have a discussion. And somebody said, I'm really upset because with all these layoffs, not just the 94 executives, they were cutting below. They said, my team is all worried. They're sending out resumes. They're looking for what their next role is. What if they get fired? What if? And morale is down. And so what can we do? And so somebody on the other side of the room said, oh, let's do a rally in the alley at 4:00 on Friday. We'll get kegs, we'll get some beer, we'll have people, and it'll be a rally in the alley. Now I listen to that and I just, I'm going, yeah. So the next one was somebody had some other idea, and I just I said, why don't we just tell them the truth?
Yeah, but just before you go to the other one, can I stick it a little bit there? Just to get some clarity.
Sure.
So you have a board of director, a group of 25 persons, and you're discussing the problem at hand. Is part of that problem the paparazzi and what could happen if the mass media gets into this? Is that part of the problem?
It can be. It was tough when going back to Israel with Mickey and Minnie. I had 24 paparazzi following our microbus VW, trying to go, and they would say, are these people Israelis? You bring the heads. You bring heads from America and you put Israelis in these heads for this? It's Mickey and Minnie from America. No, but the heads, Israelis? And it's Mickey and Minnie. We just kept repeating it. It's Mickey and Minnie from America.
Got you. Confidentiality.
Yeah. So we look at the world at what kind of impact we can make, and with these different niches and people, we opened up doors for people to come from Sweden or Norway, Helsinki. I even had a Ukrainian tour operator who brought some people from the Ukraine regularly.
Got you. Let's talk a bit about, you became not just a top-notch person in business and in leadership. You came from Disneyland. You had some experience with Universal Studios. You combine all of those experience in terms of the practical strategies that you would have been using to bring success to this institution, to develop your own curriculum. You have now became an adjunct professor. You're still active in that role. Talk to us about what led you to, first of all, develop the curriculum, what difference you think it was making, and now that you are an adjunct professor, how does all of that plays into how you feel about yourself and the level of success and the impact that you're making on young people in the world today?
Yeah, great question, Gary. So with being an adjunct professor, it was really, frankly, just a blessing out of the blue, because it was right at the beginning of COVID. I got a call from the president of Belhaven University, and he asked, hey, we're going to develop an online degree in hospitality. And I was on the board of trustees in Belhaven for 12 years prior, so we know each other really well. I admire his leadership. He's fantastic. So anyway, I just said, yeah, I'll develop the courses. What do you want? Sales and marketing, revenue management. We need facilities management, food and beverage, everything. So I wrote every course, every quiz question, every discussion, every final paper question, and then I taped 130 lectures in front of a green screen, and they edited it into the. But because, Gary, you listen to somebody drone on, it gets boring, doesn't it? In order to overcome it, what I did is I just went through my phone and started calling everybody that I knew in the travel industry. The guy that was the executive vice president, number 3 guy at Walt Disney World, had 40 cast members reporting to him. How do you manage 40,000 cast members? Crazy. But he's one of the best on leadership and operations. His name is Lee Cockrell. Anybody can find him at leecockrell.com or on LinkedIn, and you can get little snippets. But he's one of the smartest guys. He opened Euro Disney. He's worked for Marriott, Hilton, but he's just a leadership kind of genius, one of those guys. So I interviewed him. Richard Sasso, he's the chairman now. He used to be CEO. He's chairman of MSC Cruise Lines. Roberta Jacoby, managing director at Royal Caribbean. And then Jeff Porter set all the ticket prices and revenue management for Universal Worldwide. So I had a really good crew of people to interview, and I just keep doing that. And I still interview, and I layer them into my classes so that they don't have to just listen to me the whole time or do that.
Got you.
Pitch Deck 101 LLC out of New York do more than just support our clients to pitch their businesses to investors access working capital at 0% APR. We also support our clients to grow and scale their businesses faster and cash flow optimize. Pitch Deck 101 LLC recent partnership with 10X Branding Marketing LLC and Global Capital Inc. out of the USA has enabled us to form unique partnership with multiple financial institutions, which means we can do even more to accelerate the success of our clients. Let Pitch Deck 101 LLC give you the support you need to pitch to investors, access capital, access new markets and grow and scale your business. Contact us now on 332-235-1099 for a free consultation.
Gotcha. Can we talk a bit about, you're not only an adjunct professor, which has given you a chance to touch and transform the lives of so many young persons in the classroom today. You are a consultant. But what I like about you as a consultant, you're very selective in terms of who is your customer base, because you mainly focus on businesses that has a balance sheet of between $2 million to $50 million. How has it worked out for you? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure can. On the low side, I go into a business and I will offer an assessment. Depending on the size of the business and complexity, might charge $1,500 for the assessment and credit it towards consulting if they work with me. So work that. But small business, the owner's going, hey, love for you to come in. I go, great. You got a flooring business, etc. Matt, you're doing $2 million a year and you're 36 years old. You got a $2 million plus business. You got to be proud of yourself. He said, no, I'm kind of ticked off because I made more money on my knees installing carpet tile wood instead of, what I'm doing now. I got 2 designers, 3 salespeople, 2 warehouse guys, a controller, and then, a driver. So to deliver. And last year on 2 million, I didn't even make what I used to out of my truck. So I said, well, we can fix that. So we used our software plans. We did whatever, put a plan together. Okay. Fast forward 2 months ago, I go in to see him. I'm going to buy flooring for my entire house and do it in hardwood here in Orlando. So I went in and he's in a good mood. He's smiling. Why are you so happy? He said, I fired my bank today. You fired your bank? He said, yeah, they were charging me interest on the credit line at the wazoo. So I just got rid of them. And I went, ooh. I said, what happens if you bid a condo job for flooring and you get it and it's got 25 units in it? You know what got you in trouble before is all the costs. You bid it at a certain price, but everything goes up. Freight goes up, material goes up, etc. And you just lose in your margin. And he said, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. I said, well, that's good. I said, what's going on here? And he started laughing. He goes, you came in here 3 years ago. We set the course. You checked in with me for the next year. This year we did $6 million at 12%. I'm my own bank. If I get a condo job, I buy the material out of my account. I pay no fees. I get discounts for prepayment. That's, he said that. And of course, you know what my next comment was, right? Matt, you were going to give me such a deal on my floors. You owe me.
Because he knows the financial hacks. Huh?
Yeah, he does. And he's done really well. And I'm so proud of him. But, that's why we do what we do. We get up every day and, who do you want to help? How do you want to help them? And because I only take 2 to 3 clients a year and I take 2 to 3 consultants to help them with their clients, and that's about it. The rest of the time, I want to be on a sailboat, So.
Which you spend a lot of time doing, because I know that you just came back from your, sailing with your family.
Yep, I did. We did Thursday to Tuesday, so I'm a little crispy today, and but it was so fun. It was great to introduce my 8-year-old grandson to sailing, and just the look on his face when we pulled up all the sails and they came out, and we're just turn off the motor, and we're going, it's just air, Declan. It's just air, and we're moving. He loved it, so it was a great time. But
yeah, I know it's a proud moment when you can bring that kind of joy to your family, especially grandkids, right?
Right, exactly right. So the big deal for me right now with my team is, my 3 clients, my 3 consultants, and then the software we created for consultants. These are for people that kind of know what the consulting world is and are in it. This app that we created helps them accelerate profit and demonstrate to an owner. It gets them a job. And then our full software launches next week on September 10. And I think we already have 75 to 100 people registered for that webinar for that. So it's pretty exciting times now because we were kind of ticked off at the whole consulting industry and the wild claims and all this other stuff. We priced our app on the market at $9.95, and the full-blown software that runs an engagement for a year was $297. So no more.
Let's talk about the software in itself.
Okay.
What are the functionality of the software?
Sure.
How is that software going to help the ideal client to optimize their level of success? Can we talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we divided it into 2 things. One is there's probably about 30 areas that you can improve. There's more than that, but let's just take the first 30 that you can improve in a business. And it's going to be about sales, acquisition of a client, how fast they come in, what makes them move through the funnel, what is the closing, how fast is that velocity of the funnel, And then how much, then when do we get revenue? When is that realized in the bank? That's super important, always in sales. Next, it moves to operations. And there's always a constraint, or what we call the smallest pipe in any system. And if we can figure out where that small pipe is and open it up, it could be in sales, we need more, or it could be in finance. We need, an assistant to help process and collect accounts payable. But then it moves to finance. Did you price the job right? The last 6 jobs that you thought you'd make 15, 16% gross profit, did you do it? And what were the constraints and reasons? So we just help people go through it. So the software will explain to them what incremental gains, 2, 3, or 5% would be. So that's what the app does. And then it says, if you'd like to engage me, depending on the size of the business, if it's a $2 million business, I'm probably going to be charging them around $9.95 or something. If it's a $5 million business, same methodology, I'm going to be charging them $2,500. If it's above that, it's probably going to be higher still. So it just depends on the complexity, how many people I have to talk to. So that's what we do. But the software, the main software, the beauty of it is it gives you the timeline, the Gantt chart, on what step would you take first, second, third, fourth, every single one of the 8 or 9 areas you selected. And it will always be tracking against real money in your bank. Because at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. So it's X to Y by when to equal what, which is cash.
10X Branding and Marketing LLC, powering the next generation of unicorns. At 10X B&M LLC, we specialize in market research, brand innovation, market integration, and client conversion optimization. Our team of experts is dedicated to providing the strategic insights and innovative solutions needed to accelerate growth and unlock your company's full potential. Whether you're a startup looking to attract investors and your ideal clients, or an established business ready for market expansion, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Let 10X Branding and Marketing LLC fuel your journey to exceptional business success. Contact us now for a free consultation on how we can position your business to become a unicorn.
You got it. Having a game plan to ensure that business is cash flowing and possibly doing that at an optimum level, it's so vital. We will take some time, perhaps in the next interview, to do a deep dive into this software that you have developed, because I do believe that having these AI aided marketing tools and sales tools can really help businesses to optimize their success. On my platform, we talk about how important is data. You find the average, star in business, you get into business, but then you're not using data. You're not using data on market size. You're not using data on market density. You're not using data on market dispersion. You're not using data on the SWOT analysis. So you don't really understand market realities. And because you don't understand market realities, you don't know how to navigate some of the rough terrains that you're likely to interface as you attempt to grow and scale the business. And I believe that what you're saying, what this software tends to do is to help you to do that analysis and help you to point you in the right direction so you know exactly what to focus the energy on. The other thing that I find, sometimes you focus on areas that are not necessarily the primary area as for a business startup. One of the things that you want to focus on as a rising star in business is how to ensure, one, you can, create an environment where you have staff loyalty that are highly motivated. From there, you want to go immediately into the fastest way in which you could cash flow optimize the business, not before thinking about ensuring that you're, understand your ideal client and you're able to align their needs, wants, and expectations with your minimum and most viable offer. So there are some things that you must focus on at the beginning. And I do believe that when you focus on these things and you get it right, it sets the stage for you to simply take off. Let's talk a little bit about your short-term goals. I see that you have a clear mental picture where you want to go in the short term. You want to impact 500 of your ideal client consultants, and you want to do this in a set period of time. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Because I know you're billing to sell as usual. You have experience billing and selling, and this is part of your business model. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Sure. Right now in our pre-launch, we have been collecting people and names, et cetera, that are connected to the industry, and they could demo the app or play with it for free for 7 days, just see it. But over almost close to 200 people signed up for
Already.
our wait list to, it's almost like a pre-buy. And so on our webinar next week, we're going to let all those people that registered and they're come into the webinar, we're probably going to give them about $1,000 in value in an offer. That's good for 24 hours. You want to get going and get rolling on this because the software not only helps you get a job, but it keeps you engaged. And so I usually do it. I say, pick 8 areas and let's plan on, 10 weeks. Then we can see results because there's no magic bullet. Don't lie to people and say you're going to get 10 clients in 15 days and our SEO is going to do. People make all those kinds of claims and they bill all kinds of crazy numbers, but it's about results and just being real with the people. So when we align their brand, their strategic brand profile, when that's aligned, everybody in the company is saying the same message about who they are, what they do, how they function, why we're different, and why can we make these claims? Because of, and they can fill in that blank, and everybody's sitting the same stroke. The Disneys of the world, Universal's, Virgin, they're brilliant at aligning their messages across all platforms. And that synergy just is compounded. So that's why 2 to 5 or 6% increase in a small business makes a difference, big difference in profits.
Yeah, I love that you are re-emphasizing, the 15 days magic bullet, the 10-day magic bullet in sales, and all of that. You're correct again. It's not necessarily cast in gold. I do believe that there may be some exceptional cases. If there's an emergency and you got the money, you need the help, you're going to buy. All right. But I think in the majority of cases, it's about understanding the blueprint. It's about understanding the stepping stone. And one of the things that we have seen as sales professional is that you have a number of buyers' behavior to understand. The average person, they are going to buy. They may even buy based on impulse. The extremely wealthy people, they are going to be buying based on a number of factors. They want to know you, they want to like you, they want to trust you. And if you're not able to establish all of that, you're not going to necessarily get into their good books. And what I see happens a lot, many sales professionals or aspiring sales professionals, they tend to think the relationship building ecosystem out of that sales process. How important is this? Emphasize on how important is the relationship building journey, that ecosystem, essential to the sales process.
Right. It's exactly that. In any sales process, you always have the universe population. There's a whole universe out there, right? And so then you have to figure out how you're going to differentiate what part of that entire universe, because it's too expensive, you can't do it. So what are you going to target? So figure out who that IDC, ideal client profile. Once that's defined and data suggests that it's a right for fit person, they hover above a funnel. They're at the top. They're not in the funnel. They're just data suggests they'd be right to contact. And so we do. And if they respond to that contact, then that actually does move them into the funnel at the first stage so that they can make sure that, they can know and track people as they come through. So that's the big dot deal right there. So is moving them into the funnel, getting them down. Then what are the objections? How do we overcome them? Where did we get to a PDF, a contract, send them the PDF, the agreement, whatever they signed, and then how fast do we realize revenue? So that's the velocity of the sales funnel in the process. And the interesting thing is you can manage a sales force just by understanding what moves them from the universe, which is data and stuff, into the funnel, which is response, what moves them into the next stage where a proposal or RFP or something is given, what happens there. And then if they respond to that, it moves them down in the funnel. Now we're in a closing stage. How do we close them? And then how do we sign the agreement and realize revenue? That's the big dot deal. So it's a process. But if you can know where somebody's stuck, maybe they have too many people in the universe that aren't falling in. Well, you're not researching them well enough. What if they're in the top of the funnel, but they never moved to proposal? Well, they're not understanding your value proposition or your offer stack. So we coach you on that. Then if they move down, how do you close them? Make sure you get the check and we're in full agreement and aligned. And then when does the money hit your bank? That's what we need to know. Now, architecture, that could be a year and a half, 2 years. If it's power and water sports, it might be just a few months. So you never know.
Awesome. We can have this conversation all the time because this is one of the areas that I love talking about. We have to set aside some time for the next interview where we're going to do a deep dive into the funnel and really help the public to understand with a higher degree of clarity what is being said here. However, we're about to wrap up today's program. And I want you to give you a chance to highlight any talking points that you perhaps was expecting to look at. Perhaps I didn't ask you that question. I want to give you a chance to take the rein and feel free to share your thoughts on, whatever thoughts you might have had that I may not have asked you the question to.
Hey, thanks. I've been influenced by some great leaders over the years. I've had some really wonderful mentors and people I looked up to at lots of positions along the way, people that helped me. You don't get there by yourself. And so when I'm meeting with my students that are in hospitality, I tell them, email me, connect with me on LinkedIn. If I can help you get an interview, boost your performance, talk about you, and help you get anywhere, be happy to do it. So one of the main things that is we help a consultant be successful. We actually put 10% of our company into charitable giving for nonprofits, building water wells in Africa, things like that. But we encourage our consultants, not compel, but just encourage, to be generous as well and give back. I do probably 3 or 4 consulting clients a year that don't pay me anything because they can't, but they need consulting. Could be a nonprofit working with kids, could be anything. So be generous, and then encourage your businesses to be generous. And if you're a consultant that's good, you'll be able to calculate even the tax savings they get by being charitable. You can give $10,000 over here to Boys and Girls Clubs. You can make a difference in your community, and it's not really costing you because you'd be paying it in taxes anyway. So help them to be generous. Generosity breeds more generosity, and also gratitude, which is really powerful. So that's kind of my mantra today. It's, let's be real. Cards are all face up. And then who do you want to help? How do you want to help them?
All right, thanks for sharing. So there you had it, the listening public. Today we talked with Dan. He is a professor. He worked at Disneyland. He also had a stint at Universal Studio. He is an adjunct professor, and he has so much more behind his name. I really trust that you would have enjoyed, this podcast. Because I certainly did enjoy every bit of it. And I want to encourage you I will put some information in the description So you can learn more about Don and the work that he's doing. He's about to release a new software that can really help you to accelerate the process, the speed in which you identify the client, the ideal client, and move them into that funnel. So those links will be in the description. And Dan, again, thanks for taking the time to be here with me, and definitely looking forward for our next conversation. And I'm looking forward to do that deep dive into the software and how the software itself can impact the lives of business leaders across the world.
That sounds great, Gary. Thank you so much for the time today. Can't wait for you to get you down to Florida so you can go sailing with us here.
Definitely, definitely.
Elevate your business with 10X Branding and Marketing LLC. Our expert team specializes in enhancing your brand's visibility and connecting you with your ideal clients. We employ strategies that increase reach, leaving a lasting impact and driving client conversion. Trust and credibility are vital in businesses, and excel in building them even with a limited budget. Our cost-effective approaches ensure you get the best results without overspending. Ready to boost your business cash flow? Contact us at 332-235-T99 and let 10X Branding and Marketing LLC guide you to success. Our focus is on elevating your visibility, which directly translates to growth. Experience the power of effective branding and marketing with us and witness your business thrive.